number meeting. Before we start the meeting, I want to mention a couple of rules of the meeting. Number one, please keep your mobile phone on switch off or silent mode. Number two, please refrain from talking about sex, religion and politics. Also, I want to mention the mission of the club. The mission of the club is to help every member to improve their communication and leadership skills by providing a learning platform where all the members will have a supportive environment. Now I want to introduce the presiding officer of this meeting and to welcome Sowrirajan P.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajesh. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you all doing? Excellent. Nice to hear all this. Yeah, all the happy faces. Fine. So, I would like to welcome. With the sound of this gavel, I declare meeting number 713 open. I welcome the dignitaries who have joined today's meeting. Former Division Director, Toastmaster Khaja. Founder member DTM Sampath Sowrirajan. All thank you for joining. I can see a couple of guests as well who have joined as well. Can you please come over here and introduce yourselves?
Myself, I am Dr. Sandhya. I am working in Central Leather Research Institute, Chennai. This is my 5th consecutive meeting. So I want to join this Medley Toastmasters.
Thank you for joining us. And I can see one more guest as well. Can you please come over here, introduce yourself, and say what your expectations for today's meeting?
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kaushanya. I'm from Adaya. This is my first session. I want to improve my fluency in English. Whatever idea is there in my head, I am not able to put it into a sentence. I thought I will just attempt this and improve. Today I joined as a guest. Thank you.
Well, I can see another guest also has joined, but I don't want to put him on the spot. If you are fine, you can come here and then introduce yourself. Yeah, sure, please. Yeah. Today is a special day. Do you know why?
First meeting of 2023.
Well, good.
7th of January 2023.
Yeah, tomorrow is the 8th of January, right? That's also a special day because we have OTP also on tomorrow. Right. Anything else?
You'll be the happiest person.
Yeah, that is for me. Good.
You can't conclude that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah. XCOM installation. Yeah. There are 4 different things that are coming up, right? I can see one more thing. I don't know whether it is trivial or not, or whether it is special or not. That is, I am a mentor day. Today is I am a mentor day. Okay. So, if you are a mentor or mentee, today is an important day for everybody because Toastmasters is something that appreciates mentors as well as mentees because that is where you will learn a lot of things. A lot of things means leadership as well as communication skills. All you can learn not only on this special day but also on every other day you can learn about that. So please ensure that if you have not done that last year, go and meet your mentor and then say hi and say that I am your mentee. If you have not already done that. So today is important day. Please ensure that you follow that. Then the next thing I would say here is I would like to recognize the IIT RP or like Research Park admin for today because around 11:30 I got the news that we will not be able to conduct our meeting in Desert Rose because of an unfortunate incident. As soon as I called them up, they were gracious enough to provide this hall. That's a beautiful hall, and I'm fortunate to see this many members also today. Thank you for joining us in this hall, although because of last minute changes. I would also like to recognize the previous ExCom who have done a tremendous job on ensuring that we follow the legacy of Toastmasters as well as Medley Toastmasters Club to ensure that we have come up to 7:30. Please put your hands to. If I have to do a sandwich type evaluation for last term, I would say there are two things I would like to recognize. First of all, the ease of operations. When I took over, I told ExCom that we have to work smartly. We don't have to spend much time on ExCom related activities because there are a lot of templates as well as materials already available. So we have to make use of that. So I brought in two things. One is that Easy Speak, which is mainly useful for VPE, not only for VPE but also for every member to provide transparency as well as inclusivity for every member as such. So that is one thing. I would like to urge the coming ExCom also take up that so that we will have that as everybody. And I can see already the green card. Okay, but fine. So then I would say like enhanced meeting as well as I would like to welcome our ADC2 director. Thank you for joining. And DTM Guruprasad also. Thank you for joining. The second thing I would say is enhanced membership experience. So we were able to bring in more number of enhanced meetings, surprise sessions, beat sessions, as well as ad hoc meetings, ad hoc theme sessions and all. So that brings in more enhanced experience for the members as well. So these are the two things I would say that I felt really good in the last 6 months as such. And if I can take up some of the improvement activities, I would say one of the things is we are 41 members strong club. That means we have to have at least 3 to 4 speeches on a weekly basis. So that is something I would say we have to ensure that we all give the speech. Because there are a lot of help nowadays available, right? OpenAI, okay, ChatGPT or Udly, all are available. So please make use of that. But remember, you have a mentor. Because that human touch is always needed so that all the AI can help you, but the real intelligence will help you more. So please ensure that you take the help of your mentor as well, installation as well. Okay. So for today, what is needed to start the meeting? Toastmaster of the day. Today's Toastmaster of the day is somebody who is very enthusiastic, passionate, and who has an eye for detail for everything. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmaster Rangarajan, who is our immediate past president. Who is our past president as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. A very happy New Year to all of you. A hearty welcome to Toastmaster Mohammad Khaja, Area Director of C2, and distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Everyone wants to have a child in it, irrespective of how old we grow. When we see a child, we are automatically drawn towards him or her just for one reason. Their exuberance. Can anyone tell me what is the major difference between being a child and an adult?
Responsibility. Happiness lies in the moment.
One of them, yes.
They don't judge.
They don't judge. Beautiful.
They'll do whatever they want. They
Aha.
don't worry about others.
Don't we wish we all could be that way? Well, for me, I found that children are very, very curious. The why, what, and where, and the questions just keep bombarding me. We have to be on our toes to answer them. So there is a natural element of curiosity. And as we grow older, sometimes because what we do is quite repetitive, and we become more comfortable with our own settings, we lose the curious aspect of it. That I feel is very, very, very important for us to maintain that curiosity throughout our lives. That will certainly help. And the second one is creativity. They are naturally creative. When they draw something, they feel that as though they can imagine what is in there during that creative moment of theirs. And it is their own world. They are in that beautiful world where unless an adult comes them, hey, how can this be a boat and how can it fly? That immediately shatters their imagination and their creativity. We should do I feel that every human, if they maintain that creativity within them, they automatically become a child. The transformation is almost immediate. There are a few more things that I can say, but I will keep that for the second part of my. For now, this meeting has 3 segments: the prepared speeches, the 4 segments actually for today: the prepared speeches, TT, and evaluations, along with the installation. It is a rare occurrence for every Toastmaster of the day that 2 times in a year they will be sworn in, or they'll be brought in by the president, and then the TMOD will hand it over to the new incoming president. So for today, I would like to introduce my General Evaluator, who will tell you the various aspects of the qualitative and the quantitative aspects of the meeting. So for that, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Priyadarshini. Toastmaster Priyadarshini needs no introduction to most of us. She is a district finalist for ISC and a division first runner-up in evaluations. Apart from that, she is an avid reader of R.K. Narayan books and works for an NGO. Over to Toastmaster Priya.
Good afternoon to all my fellow Toastmasters and guests. The real happiness in life, it is said the real duty in our life is to be happy, cheerful, full of mirth, and that's what our life wants us to be. We all have, irrespective of what the world throws at us or it offers, it's our duty to be happy, is what it's been said. We all have grown from this infancy to adulthood, from being with toys to gadgets, from our the teenage desires to adult aspiration. But still, there is a child in every one of us. How was our childhood? If you ask anyone, it's like every time was a playtime. Not every food was our favorite food, and we just blabbered whatever we wanted. I still remember when doctor asked me, from when are you not feeling good? I said, I remember since tomorrow I'm not feeling good. So this is what, when we talk about childhood, comes to our mind. If you remember, we were so expressive. When we saw something which was delightful or something tasted really good, what was our expression? So is there any wrong in using these expressions? Definitely not. That is why, to retain this innocence of ours, Toastmaster is also encouraging us the proper usage of ahs and ums, right? How to value your timings, and also not to blabber around, because you'll have grown up, you need to polish your personality. To help us, this kit, polish their own personalities, we have someone called as TAG, Timer, a Counter and Grammarian. Today's timer will be played by Toastmaster Jaggubai. Jaggubai is Jagan's pet name. When he was kid, he was known as Jaggubai. And I asked all my friends to share one episode of their childhood. He said he was not so naughty, but he enjoyed playing with fire. And he remembers so well, his neighbor's kitchen was almost burnt because of his play. So let us welcome this fiery timer of ours, Toastmaster Jagan.
As a timer, I will note down the timing for everybody who comes on stage, starting with the Sergeant at Arms, presiding officer. The installation takes about 15 minutes. Toastmaster of the day has specifically asked me to show timings at 3, 4 and 5 every time he comes on stage. Similarly, the GE, the prepared speeches takes about 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will show the green card. At 6 minutes, I will show the yellow card. And at 7th minute, I will keep on showing the red card. I will lower down the yellow and green once the speaker acknowledges that I have raised them. And similarly, for the evaluation, it is 2 to 3 minutes. I will show the green card at the end of 2 minutes, yellow card at 2.5 minutes, and the red card at 3 minutes. I will keep on the red card and I will lower down the other 2 cards once the speaker acknowledges. For the table topic section, it is 1 to 2 minutes. At the end of first minute, that is the qualifying time, that I will show the green card. 1.5 minutes yellow card, and the 3rd minute I will show the red card. Similarly, I am also timing the other parts of today's meeting. If, for example, the table topic section, the president's section at the end, there are 10 minutes, and the installation as well. So I would request the installing officer to be not mindful of the time that I will show. It is 15 minutes. Would it be okay? 12, 14 and 15, something. Over to the chief.
Thank you, sir. It's time to introduce the counter, Nandu and Manju. That was not her pet name. She was taking care of these bunnies and she called them Nandu and Manju. The episode that she wants to share with all of us, she was very good in addition and subtraction. And before the actual question was completed by teacher, she used to give the answers. And her friends did not like her. Believe me, if she was in my class, I would have not liked her too. So it's time to welcome our counter, Nishana, to read out her objectives.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So today I am playing the role of the counter, and the role of the counter is to notify you with all the extra noises that you are creating or the passes that you are making when you are talking. So I will be noting down all these things and submit the report at the end.
Let me introduce Toastmaster Prasi, if I pronounced it right. Prasi is a pet name of Prasanna Venkatesh. He wanted to go with his uncle to outstation. And you know who is the person to stop us? Always mother. And his mother said no. So he had to find a way out. What he does was, when his uncle is packed, he sneaks inside the car from the backside, and that's the backside of the car, and he hides inside it till uncle crosses the 3 streets of that lane, and then he reveals, I'm here. So let's welcome Toastmaster Prasanna Venkatesh. We'll ask him to read out the objectives.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a grammarian, it's my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers listening to the language usage. It's also my responsibility to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word of the day is reminisce. I'll stick it down. You see, reminisce, which means recall the pleasant memories. For example, when G introduced me, I reminisced about my childhood. That's one example. So I suggest all the speakers to use the word of the day at least once in your speech. And one more information, one additional information. Reminisce might closely resemble the word remember, but it conveys different meaning. The word reminisce means recalling the pleasant memories. For example, we remember the route to IT Research Park from our home. We remember it. At the end of the meeting, when we see samosas, when we see snacks, we reminisce about our past memories with our fellow Toastmasters, how we talked about our meetings, about the past meetings. So I suggest please use it at least one time in your speech, and at the end of the meeting, I'll give my report when called upon. Thank you. Over to you.
This was my first set. I'll be back again with my second set of team. Till then, it's time for me to hand over the stage to a Toastmaster of the day.
So we're getting into the first major segment of the day. All the speeches today will be 5 to 7 minutes. The first speaker is Hemant, Toastmaster Hemant. Toastmaster Hemant has a very peculiar, fascinating, he's doing his PhD in a very fascinating industry, battery industry. I wish you could manufacture a battery which will last lifelong. I know that's not going to happen though. And he comes from the cleanest city in India. Can anyone name the city?
Indore.
He comes from there. And when I asked him, because he's coming from Indore, I asked him what does he like about Chennai. The immediate response was sea and seafood. He constantly wants to bring the child in him. He remembers the days very well. And one of the things that he feels that he lacks now is the hair that he has lost on his head. Although it troubled him earlier, it no longer. And he will be talking about Kabaddi story. Hemant? Oh, I'm sorry. Before we proceed further, I would like to call his evaluator, Toastmaster Shankar, to give a brief about this.
Thank you, TMOD. Toastmaster Hemant is going to attempt from Presentation Mastery Pathway Level 1 Project 4. The objective of this project is practice, applying the feedback and serving as a speech evaluator during the club meeting. Very all the best, Toastmaster.
Kabaddi story, Toastmaster Hemant. Toastmaster Hemant, Kabaddi story.
I can reminisce my situation after 12th class. I have to look for a college. I want government college for myself because they are economical and they have good reputation. The thing, they are economical, because of that I can save some pocket money. You know, I got Gautam Buddha University, which is in Greater Noida. The few things which are very good in it is one, single room, and second is speedy internet. And I think you guys all know how my 5 years went after that. No, hold your horses. It doesn't go like this. Actually, good evening, Toastmaster and dear friends. I can remember how my first day was. In my first day, I have to search for my hostel in that 511 acres of campus, and it was a cumbersome exercise. I was exhausted and all of me was in sweat because I have to take my luggage from outside gate to the room. You know, the first thing which I did after going in room was to sleep for hours, and after sleeping for hours I can think of myself, and after thinking of myself I was looking like I am already in sweat, so I should go for shower. When I was going for a shower, I saw my best friend, future best friend, who was with his family. And you know, her mother, after seeing me, said, "If seniors are also allowed in your hostel, how you will do?" And I was like, this is bad. But the situation became more worse when one of my friend is starting telling me old man, because of my physique actually. I'm like, okay, let's deal with it. Hemant, what are these things you are talking about? Why you are not talking about your studies? What are these old men and these college things you are talking about? Oh, these things, I just forgot those things, and I didn't even wrote my script with education and study. Okay, just keep on going. Okay, So I can remember one thing. When I went in college, there was sports. That's the best thing. And I can't remember how I got inside the Kabaddi team in my first year. But I can remember that first match was with 5th year seniors. And our team was really beaten like a mule, rented mule. After that, I have to go by the team support. I went there and I have to go for a raid. I was totally concentrated at that time. Okay, I will go there, I will swing my hand, and whoever I struck, I will just run back to my court. I was going there. I was so concentrated that I cannot hear anything at that time. I went there and I just swung my hand as fast as I can, and I ran back to my court. Actually, it was a hit. I made a hit, I got a point, and I was able to save some reputation to my team. And because of that, after coming to my court, I was able to hear each sound. And you know what people were saying at that time? Old man, old man, old man. I was like, what yaar? At that time, I was happy as well as embarrassed. But you know, I got that name because I was famous. After that, my friends told me, you know what you have done? You have hit a goon's son. I'm like, yaar, I have hit a goon's son. It will be trouble for me. No, it's not trouble for me at that time. You know, the game went with ethics and everything was smooth. In my second year, I really missed the game because I was at that time in my hometown. After that, in my third year, I have to look for again in game. I supported my team against the PhD scholars, and that was a tough job. We did a great and we won against them. But the final match was against with 5th year seniors, and in that team there was Rosa. And Rosa is local one. So we gave him a hard time. But yeah, we won. We didn't won, and we won silver. After that, what happened is my fame was very famous. I was famous among not just among guards, among college professors and among other peoples also. In all college, I was famous. But you know, the best thing happened because of Kabaddi is I got a friend request, and that was from a female. I was really happy at that time. Okay, let's inquire about her. What she is going to tell me? I am going to become a boyfriend or not? But the things goes more worse. She was ex-girlfriend of Rosa Bhaiya, and she was thinking to change her boyfriend. I said to her clearly, Rosa Bhaiya ki jai. I am not going to come in that trouble, and I don't want to ruin my name, which is so famous, old man, because of a girl. After that, in my 4th year, I helped my team again, and yeah, we gave chances to new recruits, and we were very happy and motivated when they did well. In my 5th year, we were going just for a medal collecting ceremony. Our name was there, like my name was there. I was standing in my Kabaddi team, and people can see me, but mostly game was played by new recruits only. And hey Hemant, you tell this long story. What was the moral of it? There is nothing in it, yaar. What is these things you are talking about? Oh, moral. You didn't understand the moral, you know. The moral of the story is you are never finished until you are done. Okay, thank you. What do you think?
Thanks for reminiscing your Kabaddi story with us. Our next speech is by Toastmaster Pravda. To introduce her, she is an academician, and there's a clinical practice in her life. for close to 2 decades now. She would like to explore the world, and in her spare time, she has 3 components: the music, movies, and reading books by famous authors. She's found a novel way to keep the child in her active and to spend time with the family. The TV is off and they all play name, place, animal things. That's something that she has carried on from her childhood. Before she begins her speech, I would like to welcome DTM Sampath Sowrirajan to talk about her speech.
Good afternoon, TMOD Toastmasters and Toastmaster Pravda in particular. The project is Understanding Your Leadership Style. The level 2 projects almost in all the parts of course. The purpose statement says, purpose of the project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. There's an option of 2 different. Good luck to the speaker and great listening to all of us. Back to the training.
Thank you, DTM Sampath. Greatest influences, Toastmaster Pravda, greatest influences.
Thank you, TMOD. While working on this project, I came across a critical question. Let me put it before you. Are leaders born or made? Made. Thank you for your responses. Warren Bennis, who is the pioneer of the contemporary field of leadership studies, who is also the father of leadership, also states the same, that leaders are made rather than born. I agree with him, because if you ask me how I was in my college days or in my young days, I would use these adjectives to describe me: timid, nervous, indecisive. But today, I lead a team. Today, I make difference in the life of my students. Today, I'm ready to take up any responsibilities. How did these transformations happen? Distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests, a very good afternoon to one and all. 12 years before, I was promoted from senior lecturer to head of the department in my present institution. Till then, when I was a faculty, junior faculty, I used to follow the instructions what my superiors gives me, and I used to accomplish all the duties whatever is given to me sincerely. But this new and bigger responsibility, in order to handle that, I had to learn more. I had to research on people's behavior. I had to widely explore and spend extra hours to fulfill my duties. But I knew that fulfilling duties and responsibilities alone is not leadership. Inside me, I always had a strong urge to become a better leader. My transformation into an effective leader happened gradually over the time by the influence of several people around me. The first and most inevitable among them is my dad. He was a victim of polio at the age of 20. That caused disability in his legs, but it did not prevent him from learning. He became an icon in academic, sports, culturals in his pre-universities. But by the influence of communist ideology when he was young, he indulged himself in serving the less privileged and disabled people like him. He formed a society, an organization for the physically challenged people, and dedicated his entire life for their welfare. Though his life was entirely filled with challenges and struggles, He remained as a charismatic and dynamic leader and transformed the lives of many socially marginalized disabled people. I learned the transformational leadership style from him. I wanted to transform the life of my students. I constantly encourage and motivate my students towards valuable and positive changes that not only brings changes on them, but also it benefits the organization, my institution as a whole. I keep sending recommendations for their higher studies to various universities across the globe. My next influence is from my husband, Mr. Prabhakaran, who is a practicing lawyer, both in High Court as well as in the Supreme Court. He is a voracious reader of not only law books, but all general books. His wide knowledge gave him the ability to see all things in different perspectives and gave him the authority during his argument. And this paved way for his victory in several sensational public litigation. I learned from him that continuous acquiring of knowledge and effective communication are the vital leadership styles. And I use this authoritative leadership style when I was given an opportunity to chair 2 subsequent Toastmaster contests. And that fetched me the prestigious award, Outstanding Toastmaster of the Quarter, within a short span of time. It will be a reminiscing memories forever in my life. Not all successful leadership, not necessarily that it should be authoritative or autocratic. I always follow the democratic leadership in my department, where I give equal importance to all my team members in decision making. I enable team spirit and cooperation among them. I learned this democratic leadership style after listening to the oration of our former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Once he visited our institution just few months before his demise and gave an excellent speech. I was impressed by the leadership style, the critical leadership style that he mentioned about his boss, Satish Dhawan, who took up the entire responsibility for the failure of their first mission. And later, in the next time when they succeeded, gave the credit to the leadership of Dr. Kalam. I never failed to encourage or motivate and mention the involvement of my staffs and the team members and their contribution whenever there is a successful events in our department. And also I do not hesitate to take up the responsibility when things goes wrong. Friends, there is a leader hidden everywhere, in everybody. And leadership styles can be acquired from any one of us, anybody in our life. As said by Mother Teresa, that all people cannot do great things, but everyone can do small things in a greater way that can impact, influence and transform others. My dad, my husband, Dr. Kalam, Mother Teresa are all greatest influences in my life. What about you, TMOD?
Listening to your speech, I'm inspired.
Thank you, Toastmaster Viren. 6 months back, you remember where the installation ceremony was conducted? IIT Research Park, first floor. I reminisce that. I don't know, somehow it's tailor-made or something. This installation ceremony is also happening at IIT Research Park, which was not by design. I would like to welcome our AD C2 Director, Toastmaster Khaja Sharif, for installing the new expo. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmaster.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. It's my pleasure to walk into Medley Toastmasters Club and install the incoming XCOM offices. Thank you so much for inviting me. and it's time to set the sun of our outgoing officers and crown new incoming officers of Medley Toastmasters. So I request all the outgoing officers to stand as I read out your name and role. Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Venkat Palli. Treasurer, Toastmaster Mohammad. Secretary, Toastmaster Prasanna Vani. Vice President Public Relations, Toastmaster Raghunath Mishra. Vice President Membership, Toastmaster Venkateshan. Vice President Education, Toastmaster Dinakar. And our President, Toastmaster Saran. I request all of you to give a big round of applause for our outgoing officers. Wonderful job and contributions. On behalf of Toastmasters International and District 120, I thank all of you for your accomplishments and your discharge from your further duties and responsibilities as officers of Medley Toastmasters Club. Thank you, sir. So new incoming officers, as I call upon your name and role, please come onto the stage. Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Dharan. Treasurer, Toastmaster Pravda. Secretary, Toastmaster Venu. Vice President Public Relations, Toastmaster Prasanna Vani. Vice President Membership, Toastmaster Shiva. And Vice President Education, Toastmaster Venkateshan. And our President, Toastmaster Dinakaran. First of all, a hearty congratulations to all of you for being elected as incoming officers. So I am here to install the club officers of Medley Toastmasters Club and prepare them for the challenges that lie ahead. Their collective challenge is to make this club strong, dedicated to helping people from all walks of life to listen with sensitivity and creativity and speak in an effective manner. As I briefly describe the roles and responsibilities of each officer, I will ask him or her to hold the gavel as a symbol of leadership. Starting from a Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Dharan. The duties of the Sergeant at Arms are to make sure that all supplies and materials are properly distributed or displayed at meetings, greet guests and members, and call the meeting to order at the scheduled time. I give you this gavel as a symbol of discharge. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability? Yes, I do. Wonderful. We pass on to our treasurer, Toastmaster Pravda. The duties of the treasurer are to collect dues from the members, send the dues and the membership renewal reports to Toastmasters International, and pay the club's expenses. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I do.
Thank you so much. Moving on to our secretary, Toastmaster Renu. The duties of the secretary are to keep an accurate record of the members, submit the officers' list to Toastmasters International after the election, and keep the club charter, constitution, bylaws, and minutes. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, sir.
Moving on to our Vice President Public Relations, Toastmaster Prasanna Vani. The duties of the Vice President Public Relations are to promote the club to the local media, spread the word about membership programs, and attend Toastmasters events. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
Thank you so much. Coming to our Vice President Membership, Toastmaster Shivam. As the Vice President Membership, your duties are to conduct ongoing membership building programs, explain the educational program to prospective members and ask them to join and follow up on new members and absent members. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability? And our Vice President Education, Toastmaster Venkatesh. The duties of the Vice President Education are to plan successful meetings to help members achieve their educational goals, or in new members to Toastmasters program as soon as they join, and monitor members' progress. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, sir.
Now coming to our President, Toastmaster Anuradha. Having been elected as the President of Medley Toastmasters Club, you are its Chief Executive Officer and will be expected to preside at all club meetings and at all regular and special meetings of Executive Committee. It's your challenge to see that this club enables its members to achieve their educational goals. It's also your challenge to see that your club helps the area, district and division and also the Toastmasters International to achieve its goals. Please accept the gavel as a symbol of your leadership and dedication to office. The gavel is a symbol of the power and authority given to you by the membership of this club. Use it wisely and with restraint. You are a member of your team and a leader. A team is more than a collection of people. It's an emotional force rooted in the feelings, thoughts, and actions of all the members with a common goal of achievement, sharing, and mutual support. Work with the team members to create a healthy, dynamic club, a club which is everyone are proud of. Will you, as President, accept this challenge and perform your duties to the best of your ability? I request all our club members to stand. The growth and development of Toastmasters program in Medley Toastmasters Club depends most largely on our members. On your honor as men and women of Toastmasters, will you pledge to individually and collectively stand by this club, live with it, and work with it throughout the coming year?
Yes,
And I officially announce that ExCom officers of Medley Toastmasters Club are installed, and a very happy new year to all of you.
Thank you.
Just one more. Ajay. I'm taking.
Thank you.
I'll just take a few minutes as an incoming president to pass on the. I would like to thank all the Medley members interesting us for all these comes, right? Like, and then putting us in this role. Thank you so much. And I also wish the ExCom family to achieve what they want to achieve. All the best for the incoming ExCom team. Today's my message is going to be very simple. Like normally, like any post-match press conference or event, right? You will hear some messages. I have few takeaways from that. One is that, like normally you would hear that when you ask about the players, so they will say that I have stuck to the basics. I have followed the basics, right? So I also believe in that. So we will follow the basics. When we talk about Medley, we have a long legacy. There are a lot of lessons learned and best practices which we already carry forward. So our job is primarily to carry forward all those lessons learned and best practices. Make sure that we have a very good positive learning experience with Medley Toastmasters. One more message is that adapting to the situation. Like you might hear that like people would like you might end up like safeguarding your wicket,
or you might have to chase for like 10 runs per over, 20 runs per over. So we'll have to adapt to the situation. Here also, we will adapt to the situation, maybe like creating more mentor and mentee connect, or bringing in a lot of attendance and more many members to the meetings. So we will adapt to it, and then we will bring in what is needed as a new processes, and then we will try to create again, as we all know. So we will have the better learning in the moment of enjoyment, and also we will have better learning in the positive experience. So we'll ensure that it is provided to all the multi members. Yeah. Over to the TMOD.
So after a short break, we are back again for the speeches, and this time it is Dr. Sandhya who will be giving a speech. To give a short introduction about Dr. Sandhya, she is a qualified dentist, and she has a deep desire to use her words and help young children move away from tobacco, cigarettes, and drugs. And she has a philosophy of live and let live. When she was a young child, whenever she used to see ants, she used to collect them in a leaf, take it outside to the tree and leave it. And guess what? She has passed on it to the next generation. Her daughter does the same thing now. Before she gives a speech, I would like to invite DTM Guruprasad to read out the objectives of her speech.
Yeah, the speaker is delivering a speech on Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a prodigy. The time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you.
Toastmaster Sandhya, doubt your doubts, believe your beliefs. Doubt your doubts, believe your beliefs. Toastmaster Sandhya.
Thank you. The light that is shown in the path of someone else will automatically brighten up our path too. That is the beauty of mentoring. Greetings and good evening, dignitaries, DTM, TMOD GE fellow Toastmasters and guests. 1,000 hours spent in diligent study and 1 day spent with a mentor. A Japanese proverb says, it is better you spend 1 day with a mentor than 1,000 hours spent in diligent study. So today I would like to share my experience as a mentee from part of my life. We started practice in the year 2001. We, I mean me and my husband, Dr. Arun. In the year 2009, we thought we could escalate the practice to the next level. With a deep intent to build my networking skills, to bring in more walk-ins to my practice, I joined a global business networking community, a forum. For the first time in my life, I'm exposed to a group of people who are non-medical. They were business owners. As soon as I joined the forum, they assigned me with a mentor. The mentor was a business owner dealing with luxury car rental business. 5 mentoring sessions were planned with the mentor. During the first mentoring session, a doubt evolved inside my mind. How can a business owner with a luxury car rental mentor a healthcare professional? For me, it didn't match. Anyway, accepted. 5 mentoring sessions were completed, done. A written self-assessment was conducted to me after the mentoring sessions. My scores were pathetic. So pathetic, I couldn't tell the scores now. So I thought to introspect myself. On introspection, I realized something beautiful. My arrogance, my ego triggered my intelligence to doubt the ability of the mentor assigned. 5
mentoring sessions I attended physically, but my mind was full of doubts and questions. I had a profound learning on that day. And the learning is, do not doubt your assigned mentor with your intelligent questions. Do surrender to your assigned mentor so that you receive all answers. Do not doubt your assigned mentor with intelligent questions. Do surrender to your assigned mentor so that you receive all answers. With that momentary transformation, my life changed. I gained the maximum benefit from the forum, and I was there for 10 years' time. One new attitude set inside me. It became a part of my being. Yes, I started doubting my doubts by dropping my egos. I started believing my beliefs by total surrender. My life changed, and my life was going beautiful. Even more beautiful, in 2022, September 1st, I joined Toastmasters International as a member. VPV struggled to put me in as soon as in the month of September. As soon as I joined in September, I was assigned with a mentor. Reminiscing few memories with my mentor and with the attitude that is already set inside me, I unfolded 3 facts about Toastmasters mentoring process. And I call it as IDC phenomenon. IDC phenomenon. So what is it? I stands for identification. What I see in Toastmasters is the Toastmaster mentor believes every mentee has a seed inside them already. The Toastmaster mentor identifies the seed, touches the seed to wake it up, nourishes the seed to grow into a beautiful sapling. So what is that seed? The seed is the unique talent inside the mentee. So I, Toastmaster mentor, identifies the seed in the mentee. Next, D, direction. In the journey of Toastmasters, the driver's seat is occupied always by the mentee. The mentee knows the destination. What about the mentor, Sandhya? The mentor always takes the back seat. The mentor shows the direction for the mentee to reach the mentee's destination. If the mentee goes off direction, the mentor immediately comes for help and corrects the direction or gives another direction for the mentee to reach the destination. So D, direction to the mentee's destination, that is the goal. C, creation. The beauty of Toastmaster mentoring is appreciated in this. The Toastmaster mentor does not create the mentee as a clone of them, but help support the mentee to create a best version by themselves. Yes, Toastmaster mentor does not walk ahead of the mentee and say, follow me. No. Toastmaster mentor walks alongside the mentee and say, let's do it. Toastmaster mentor helps the mentee to sculpt themselves to create the best version of them. So, IDC phenomenon, identification, direction, creation of the mentee. To conclude, in the process of creating the mentee, the mentor learns and grows. The mentee also learns and grows. Toastmaster mentoring is always a win-win relationship. Over to TMOD.
We will move on to the next part of the program. The next part of the program is table topic session. This is an impromptu session where the Toastmaster will call members at random and ask them to speak on any given subject for a minute or two. So, I would like to introduce Toastmaster Anuradha Vimal as the table topic master. To introduce her, she has been working as a professor and head of department of physiology in Satyabama Dental College. Her hobby is watching comedy movies and reading detective novels. And the best thing she likes about Chennai is the proximity it has to a variety of places like colleges and institutions, as well as for entertainment. As regards her childhood, she says the best part of her childhood was when she went to her grandparents' home and she enjoyed the sights and sounds of the place and going to different places and trying out different sweetmeats. With that, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Anuradha.
Today after reaching this venue, I reminisce the day when I came as a guest and I won the Best TT Speaker Award. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to the table topic session. The purpose of table topic is to facilitate the Toastmasters and guests to have the opportunity to practice their impromptu speaking. Today I will introduce a topic and call upon the speaker who will be given 2 minutes to speak on the subject. For kind attention, at least minimum 1 minute you have to speak for the qualified, to become the qualified speaker, and maximum time given is 2 minutes, but a grace time of 30 seconds is allowed, so you can utilize that. First I like to call upon Toastmaster Prasanna, the first table topic speaker of this year. The topic for you is, tell us about the child in you. Tell us about the child in you.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The child in me reminds me of my childhood days with my brother. I have a younger brother who's 6 years younger than me. And all my memories are of us fighting with each other. We were very violent fighters. He once squeezed a lemon juice into my eye. And I once pushed him so hard that he got a deep cut over his brow. He still mentions that as his identification mark. So you should thank me for that actually. We used to fight for a lot of silly things. But we were also partners in crime. Both my parents were working. And we used to come back from school around 4 o'clock. My father had this Rajroot bike. It comes to the sound, dud, 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 dud. So as soon as he turns into a street, we can hear his sound. And then quickly I'll put off my storybooks and he'll shut down his video game. And like good children, we'll sit with our books and read. And we fought over a lot of small things. We were each other's worst enemies. He once read out my personal diary aloud to my family, and they had a good laugh over it. And I thought I'm never going to forgive him for the rest of my life. But things have changed over the years. It's almost since 2004 that I moved away to college, and then hostel, work, marriage, and we've never been in the same house for more than 3 days since then. A lot of things have changed. Maybe it's because of the age, the years, or the distance. We no longer have that. We are no longer villains to each other. We share a lot of things. We care for each other. We are there to support each other in the low times. Why this thing happened? Maybe the years or the maturity level which we gained. But the child in me comes alive, and whenever I get to spend time with him again, we still fight over small things. But we also share and we learn to live a life through that. Thank you.
Thank you for reminiscing your childhood memories with the Rajroot sound. Then I'd like to call upon DTM Thomas sir. The topic is, if we learn from our mistakes, why are we always so afraid to make mistakes? If we are learned from our mistakes, why are we always so afraid to make mistakes?
Are we afraid to make mistakes? In which case the world would be a much better place. All of us make mistakes all the time. Why do you think jails are full? Why do you think we have problem with our children? We accuse them of making mistakes. And what do the children say? Tell us that we are making the mistake. So mistake, I think, is part of humankind. Mistake is also part of animal kingdom. Mistake is part of any action we do. One way, sure way to make no mistake is to sit like munis. So that's not the point. I think the point you meant had a lot more deeper meaning to it. One, of course, is the little element of fun about, if it's so good, why are you not going for it? I like that. I don't have an answer for it except to laugh at it. But more seriously, the nation, the people who see mistakes being made by others and don't learn from that, they are a gone case. That's what we need to look at. We all make mistakes, of course. All of us make mistakes. That's no issue at all. It's part of action. But to learn from it, to me, that is the crucial part. And again, we don't have to learn from our own mistakes. That'll be costly. A lot of us will be mind and without all the limbs together. If we learn only from making our own mistakes, no need. Let's look at ourselves as humankind. We make mistakes. It's smart of us if we learn from that and not repeat it. For some reasons, a thought comes to my mind. I was in Kabul in 2000, soon after the Americans came with their big doggies. I saw human mistake staring at me. These stones there, broken by bullets from God knows where, Taliban, whatever. The Bamiya Buddhas were broken. I wanted to jump to the medical college where the exhibition was happening, for which I went. I said, let's go. My friend Krishnamu said, no sir, let's not do it. Later I came to know that road I would have taken, shortcut, was full of mines. I wouldn't have been here if I had not learned from the correction given by Krishnamurti. Thank you, Krishnamurti. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the message that we should learn from our mistake. We should not afraid by our mistakes. Next, I would like to call upon our past president, Toastmasters Saravan sir. Topic to you is social media a boon. Social media a boon.
Definitely, social media is a boon. Because otherwise, how will we vote for the best team? How will we vote for the best performers? Because QR code, everything is available, right? Whether it is Google or not Google, everything is available. But I would say, definitely say boon, but it's a bane as well. Because when you are spending more time on social media, what you are losing? You are losing your life, your progress in your career. Everything you are losing because of social media. So it has got both the things, whether it is bane or boon, it has got that. So it's a double-edged sword. So we have to use that properly so that we are in a position to overcome social media and become a better person. How many of we are spending more time on social media? How many of we are coming without cell phones anywhere? It's not possible at all, right? Because nowadays everything is there in our cell phone. Whether you want to make any bank transaction, you have to have your smartphone. If you have to go to a different place, you have to have your Google Maps or Google locations. So everywhere it is becoming part of our life. But remember, that will have negative repercussions over a period of time. Because when you spend more time on that ad revenue for the social media is going for them. Whether it is Google or Yahoo or for that matter any of the social media, because of the time we are spending on the social media, we are giving them revenue. So what is the way to overcome that? We have to have social media again, because there are certain apps which will help us to come out of social media itself. That means we have to be relying on social media for everything nowadays. So for instance, take for instance Facebook, or for that instance, take for instance Google. Google is banned in China. Why? Or like Google Maps is banned in China. Why? because they want to have their own boundary over there. So social media has a boom as well as a pain, but it is the way we use that. Go to the PD.
I thought Toastmasters Arun will be the right person for this topic because he motivated us to use easy speak and involved us in our roles, to take many roles. Now I like to call upon our guests, Mr. Shanmugavin. Welcome, sir. So topic 2 is the celebrity you would like to meet and why. The celebrity who you would like to meet and why.
Good evening to all. The celebrity I would like to meet. I was working in Jammu Kashmir, Jammu Army. That time my lab director was Dr. G.N. Kasi. He is a Muslim personnel. I would like to reminisce him. Yes, he is a dynamic leader. He has made a lot of changes. He has identified each and every individual talent. Accordingly, he has utilized all the people, and he has changed the whole research laboratory into the renowned laboratory in India. I am from CSR Research Institute. Now this is one of the very famous research institute within CSR. CSR has 40 laboratory. He is a dynamic leader. I want to meet him. I want to inspire him. That's why I want to meet him again. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Next, I would like to call upon Mrs. Kausalya. Welcome. The topic for you is, what made you smile on this new year? What made you smile on this new year?
Actually, there are a lot of fun things happened during the New Year Eve. My friends flew down from Bombay and we reminisced about our old times. We talked about the places we visited and the food we enjoyed. So it was very fun and it made me smile throughout the evening. That's all I can talk about it now. Since I'm new, I don't know any other idea to say. I think if I attend regularly, I'll be able to speak more. That's all.
Thanks for explaining with smile and Kausalya. Next, I would like to call upon our Toastmaster Renu. The topic for you is, we don't remember days, we remember moments. We don't remember days, but we remember moments.
Yes, most of the time, a very good evening to all of you fellow Toastmasters and guests. Most of the times we remember special moments more than we recollect the dates. But for me, actually, I remember both the dates and the moments. Earlier, I remember every time my husband left for the ship and came back from the ship, I would remember each and every date. I would reminisce and tell him, remember, that's the day you came back home and that's the day you left. And he was always surprised by the kind of memory I had. It's only of late, after he left sailing for about 5 years, that I've now almost forgotten all the dates he left and he came back. There are very special moments I remember. I remember the moment when my younger daughter took her first step. Because unfortunately, I wasn't present when my older daughter took her first step. I was working at that time. And I really missed that special moment. So when I witnessed my younger daughter at the age of 10 and a half months, and she put her hand on a chair, and then she stood wobbled for a short while, took a small step, and then sat up. I think that was a wonderful moment for me. So, next I would like to call upon Mr. Manigandan.
This is the first time.
Yes, that is why we are calling you. Please.
So actually, I reminisce my engineering days. I
Yes.
can't
Question is not For everybody, there will be a first time, will be there. So for you, it's a first. My successful New Year resolution. Mr. Manigandan, my successful New Year resolution.
We have a lot of resolutions, but still, I spoke a little bit. I took a resolution. I took a resolution to skip it in the upcoming years. So still I am getting sick. So this is the first time I am.
Okay, next I would like to call upon Toastmaster Rajesh. Topic for you is, when is it okay to lie? When it is okay to lie?
Thank you, TT Master. Yeah. So I used to lie when it is needed. The need is a subjective matter. So as I learned from my elders also, they used to tell some lie. I won't name them. And in my office also, my bosses, so to handle a situation, they used to tell some lies. So I learned from them, and it actually helps, to handle a situation, basically at home or at office. And we can tell the truth, but it always does not suit the situation. So to handle a situation in a manner, so we need to tell a lie, but we should ensure that it will benefit somebody. So the lie should not harm others. So in that way, I would say it is okay to lie, but ensure that it does not harm anyone, and it does not show your personality as a liar. So it should be like situational decision maker. In disguise of lie. Thank you.
Thanks for referring to the white lies. Now I would like to call upon our guest. Sir, your name please? Please, sir. Ishwaran, sir. Welcome. Your topic is my experience with rain in Chennai. My experience with rain in Chennai.
Good evening, everybody. So, I've been with Medley a few years back for just 6 months. So, I left Medley, and now I regret leaving Medley because, okay, I may not be talking about the topic, but I think it's a great opportunity for me to express my views. Rain, if I talk about rain, it's always like very hot in Chennai. That's what I can say all the time, even when it's raining. But I live in Velacheri, where even if it rains a little, it's flooded. So, but fortunately, my house is in a somewhat like a hilltop region in Velacheri, where the rain doesn't affect our house. It's good to be it's good to rain, but because of the sewage and the drainage problems, a lot of us are affected here in Chennai and everything. But okay. Thank you. The timer is showing green, I think. Okay. Thank you for inviting me, and it's a great opportunity to express our views. And I'll be joining Medley soon again because I left for so many reasons, and one of the reasons is like I didn't approach a mentor. So I think that's one of the reasons, and also the time constraints and other things. But I'll be joining Medley soon, and thank you.
Thank you for cutting us with your rich experience. Thank you all of you. Over to TMOD.
What an entertaining session it was. May I request the timer to tell us the qualified table topic?
The person who I call out the names, they can raise their hands. The first speaker, Prasanna Mani. Second speaker, Thomas. The third speaker, Saravanan. Fourth speaker, Shanmugabe. Renu, Rajesh, and Pushparaj. These are qualified speakers.
Thank you. So request the members to take a few minutes, to take a minute to cast your vote. In the meanwhile, I'll continue with my session as the TMOD. There are two other qualities that differentiates a child from an adult. One is the innocence. We always say childlike innocence. Why do we say childlike innocence? Because they are spontaneous. And whatever question they ask, and more often than not, many adults would have felt it. The children have this unique ability to embarrass the parents by not willingly, but just out of a sheer innocence, they will just repeat probably what they have heard earlier, and that may have put others in a spot of trouble. And the other one, the other aspect of being a child is their playfulness. They are extremely playful. They always would like to, given a choice, move away to a place where they are in their own space or with their friends and play. It improves their social communication, social skills, and their mobility. So there are a lot of ways where we have this inner child in us, and we would like to exhibit it at any given point in time. It is just that we feel that we have grown up and we would like to behave as an adult when it is not required at all. We can always be playful, irrespective of how old we are. And those are the defining, the definitions of what a child is. Don't we have a child in each one of us, which is just bursting to come out? Yes. Thank you. So with this, I hand it over to the General Evaluator to take it on to the next session.
It's time for me to call my second set, my second team members to evaluate their speeches. First, I would like to call Toastmaster Vallupayan. Hope I said it right. Toastmaster Shankar. Vallupayan.
I told her my wife I'm going to send it to Priya. Tamil, how she pronounce.
What does it mean?
Naughty.
Okay, let's call a naughty boy.
A boy with a tail, actually.
Boy who is so connected to Rabindranath Tagore. So he was such a nice boy that he was very fond of naphthalene balls. If you remember the naphthalene balls, and he used to love smelling it. And imagine what happened. He smelled it so hard, it got stuck in his nostrils. And to read that, it was still hurting for me to take that. So I request Toastmaster Shankar, the bad boy of Toastmasters, to evaluate Toastmaster Hemant's speech. Over to you.
Thank you, Ji. Toastmaster Hemant has delivered a speech from evaluation and feedback. Let me see what are the good things which I observed today. Toastmaster Hemant, I see that now you are a good storyteller, which I see that. Why I am saying that? As a storyteller, you need to take everyone from this destination to another destinations. I feel that no, we are all from taking from this destination to your college days as well as your the sports event. It was reminiscing for me. And second very important thing that it is very difficult to bring the humor in your story. I see that a lot of dark comedies in your story. Name a few. One is that when you are hitting the goon's son, that time I see that a lot of humor. And second thing, when you given the pass, when you receive the female request, that to a girl from Rosa. Bingo for that. And third very important thing is that I love the way you are narrating the story with a lot of role play, body actions, this, that. Even I won't say how do I do that. I think eligible for the full marks, I wanted to give that. Where you can improve, let's say for full marks, here are the places. Number one is that a high contact. I see that in the beginning of the speech, yes, you have seen the audience, but after some time, your speech is narrowing down into 45 degree. Probably, you need to, you need to work on. And some places where you are little hesitant and given a long pause. That probably I don't know whether it is the intentionally or it is a flow of your speech. And third, very important thing is that ending, it is upfront. Because the ending you say that you never finish until it is done. It is nowhere it is connected with how your story on that. Overall, it was an excellent storyteller. I see there a lot of potential and as well as a good humor. Probably you can participate in one of the humorous contests as well. Probably you need to work on number one on eye contact, hesitant, and linking with what you have started. Overall, it was a fantastic speech. Over to you, Priya.
I'm really nervous. I'd like to call our next evaluator, who was known as Mottuvalli. Mottuvalli. I asked sir, what does it mean? He says the one who is always looking at the corner. His story, Mottuvalli. Yeah.
Mottuvalli is that corner.
Yeah, and he showed me that corner of the room. So what happens? When he was 3 years old, after his school, he goes along with his friend to his house without informing, because his maid who was supposed to pick him up on time was a little late. So his friend offered him to come home. He goes along with him. His mother asks him why not have some rice sadam. He says why not. He eats the food. Then after food, the child has to sleep and he goes to bed for 3 hours, not bothered or worrying what's happening at home and what's going on there. There was a tsunami effect in their house. Everyone was searching and they were really worried. And finally, when they found this 3-year-old kid happily enjoying in his friend's house, he was taken with so much love that he gets a tight slap from his brother first. Then his father was really so worried, he lifts him and hugs him. That's a very sweet story. Now I request TM Sampath sir to evaluate Toastmaster Pravda speech.
You didn't explain my name. I used to always be looking at the corner, thinking something. So they kept the name for me in school as well as home. Okay. Good afternoon, friends. General Evaluator, TMOD, Toastmasters, and Toastmaster Pravda, the speaker in particular. Today we had one of the topics which we repeatedly listened to from different people, and every time the story is different. Today was another interesting version. The opening was directly jumping into this topic, directly with a question, and she was trying to find out. And then the way she organized the speech, I really liked it. She mixed both options of the purpose. Both were there. Overall, she has very handsomely fulfilled the purpose of the speech. So let us give her a round of applause. The two options were to explain in general about leadership and to explain what type of leadership she is. Now, what has come out is the 3 anecdotes she gave after this initial introduction. One was with the dad, another was with the husband, the third was Abdul Kalam and Satish Dhawan. Now, she gave some very good lessons which you can carry. First one was about transformation, The second one was about learning, knowledge. The third one was about the team, being a team man, being with a team. Very interesting things, leadership aspects, democratic aspects, very well done. Your strengths are good expressions, clear flow in general. So a couple of times at the very beginning you went a little back and forth, like you went ahead and came back and went. It happens, maybe in the beginning it happened for you. Doesn't matter, the flow is all very good. I'm going to tell you something which will be very useful for you in the immediate future. We are going for ISC contest, right? Now, your standing position was here, your voice was level, your gestures were only this, not much variation. Now, your content is very good, today and before we have seen. So your delivery aspect, if you strengthen, you stand a very good chance in ISC contest. So what are the delivery aspects? The voice. These three. There is a secret to this. You cannot practice, mug up your gestures, mug up your voice variation. You cannot do that. Even content mugging up is quite difficult for most of them. The secret is it has to come from your heart. You have to internalize the total message and the individual ideas. You should start believing in what you are saying. Once you do that, it starts coming from inside. You don't need all these gestures. Automatically they flow. And you don't have to have excessive of gestures or vocal varieties. The right amount will come. So, as me in mentoring, I also do that. I ask them never to mug up. Get the whole thing inside you. Let it come out spontaneously. You can do that. I know that you are capable of doing that. Good luck to you in future. Back to you.
I'm happy to call the next speaker because he was simply called as Guru in his younger days. He's got a very interesting. What comes to your mind when we say TM Guruprasad? He always talks about this celebrity, and that's Rajinikanth. Yes. So what happens when he was trying to enact Rajinikanth, where the cigar scene of Rajinikanth? He rolls a paper, puts the chalk powder. It was time for him to blow out the powder, but he sucks it in and it chokes his throat, and there was a very bad situation with his health, and it took a very bad turn. And that one incident he remembers from his childhood days. He never dared to tell this to his parents because he knew what was coming after this. So I now request TM Guruprasad to evaluate Toastmasters Sandhya speech. Guru.
Dear General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and guests, the moment I understood the project I'm going to evaluate, I started reminiscing my days as a mentor and a mentee. Then I had a doubt. First of all, Toastmasters has talked already enough about mentoring and proteges. What is she going to talk about? After listening, I believe that it's possible to talk a lot about the process of mentoring. Let us see how did she talk about it and what did we understand about mentoring through my review. I would like to borrow the same acronym from her, IDC, for my evaluation as well. I is intent. What was her intent while delivering this speech? She wanted to share her perspective, analysis, and inference about Toastmasters mentoring. She used apt situations and phrases to explain her intent. She started with the light shone to others also paves the way for the person. That was a good example. Then the self-arrogance and her correction, where she said, do not doubt, but do surrender. That's where her analysis on mentoring, she explained to us. Thirdly, she ended with a fantastic concept saying mentoring is a win-win for both the parties. So your intent was very clear to us on how you saw mentoring being useful to everyone, not just Toastmasters alone. How did I understand that her intent was clear? Is through D, her delivery mechanism. It's always better to have a personal story when you deliver a concept or explain something. Nothing like it. She started with her own personal story, the mistakes she made in trying to evaluate the mentor himself with her, quoting her own words, arrogance. and how she corrected herself. Then the path correction, and what happened after the path correction? She continued for 10 years, she was comfortable there in that forum. Secondly, enters Toastmasters. Then formal mentoring was told to her. She started observing the mentor. Her expectations, she explained. What did she expect from mentor? How did it happen? What did the mentor do? Working along, not directing. The front seat, back seat were very good analogies to explain about mentors. Thirdly, her inference. That's where I said. Finally, he found out that mentoring is not just for the protege, it's also for the mentor, a win-win situation. The last one, C, is critic. My own comments, nothing much, but I was distracted initially with some unwanted thing. I don't remember she addressed the audience or Toastmasters. Did she?
Yes.
She addressed?
Yes.
Then it's my fault. I didn't listen to it. Because addressing the audience and the person who invited you is a culture when you're a public speaker. You tell them I am here because you are here to listen to me. I recognize you and respect you. If she had done it, it's very good. Otherwise, I don't have any other critique or comment on her speech. We really understood the value of Toastmaster mentoring and mentoring in general. Thank you very much, Toastmasters.
Is there anything wrong when if someone says a spade is a spade? Nothing. But if someone says right on your face, will you take it with a smile on your face? We want all of us to be a little empathetic. Tell us the right way if I've done wrong. This is what is evaluation all about. That's what my evaluation team has done coming here. They know what went wrong, but there is a way and method of telling the newcomer or the speaker what would have been better. So that is why when you value a speech and you understand it better, you come out and give a very good feedback. And I'm very happy all the 3 evaluators did a very good job on this. As a general evaluator, it's my time to give the final report. As a very good... Oh, sorry, yes. Before that, I would like to take detailed report from my tag team. Timer, can you please give your detailed report? Yes. Before I get the timer report, I request all of you to do the voting for best evaluator. And can you please say to all 3 evaluators are qualified. Please.
Good evening to you all again. I'm back with the timers report. There are so many numbers that I'm confused myself. I'll start with the prepared speeches. The first speaker, Hemant, took 7 minutes 13 seconds. The second speaker, Pravda, took 6 minutes 48 seconds. The third speaker, Sandhya, took 7 minutes 33 seconds. Coming to the evaluators themselves, the first evaluator, Shankar, took 2 minutes 15 seconds. The second evaluator, Sampath, took 3 minutes 10 seconds. And the third evaluator, Guru, took 3 minutes 11 seconds. Coming to the table topic speakers, the first speaker, Prasanavani, took 1 minute 48 seconds. The second speaker, Thomas, took 2 minutes 22 seconds. Third speaker, Saravanan, took 2 minutes 22 seconds. The fourth speaker, guest Shanmugavel, took 1 minute 7 seconds. The fifth speaker, guest Kausalya, took 33 seconds. And then speaker Renu took 1 minute 29 seconds. Guest Manigandan took 19 seconds. Rajesh took 1 minute 27 seconds. And Pushparaj took 1 minute 28 seconds. I've also noted down few things regarding the Sergeant at Arms. The allotted time was 2 minutes, he took 1 minute 35 seconds. The presiding officer, the allotted time was 7 minutes, took 7 minutes 14 seconds. For the installation, the time allotted was 15 minutes, took 8 minutes 41 seconds. And the Toastmaster of the day, when he initially came in, 5 minutes was what was allotted to him, 4 minutes that he took. For the G introduction, 7 minutes was allotted in the agenda, 7 minutes 21 seconds is what she took. And for the table topic session, 25 minutes was allotted in the agenda, 20 minutes is what the table topic session took. And when the Toastmaster of the day came in again, 5 minutes was allotted, 2 minutes that he had taken. There were 2 things which were not part of the agenda. One is when the incoming president came and spoke, he took about 1 minute 40 seconds, which was not given in the agenda. The other thing which was not given in the agenda is when we had to explain how do we vote, and the introduction to the table topic master. That took about 3 minutes and 20 seconds, which was not part of the agenda.
Thank you so much. I now request our counter to please give us the detailed report.
Toastmaster Ranga has mentioned there will be 3 times. He or his was repeated. Toastmaster Hemant used filler words like 4 times, actually, and a long pass, and used her couple of times. Toastmaster Pravda said all then, since then, whenever that was repeated twice. Toastmaster Dinakaran said her twice. Toastmaster Sandhya gave a clean speech. In table topic session, Toastmaster Prasanavani V repeated couple of times. Toastmaster DTM Thomas repeated the couple of times, 2 times, R 2 times. Toastmaster Saravanan gave a clean speech. Guest Shanmugavel has said a couple of times. Guest Kaushalya started with actually. Toastmaster Renu mentioned actually couple of times. Guest Manikandan mentioned a couple of times. Toastmaster Rajesh mentioned so couple of times. Guest Pushparaj mentioned so but couple of times. From evaluation side, Toastmaster Shankar repeated probably more than twice. DTM Sampath gave clean speech. DTM Guruprasad gave clean speech. And Priya gave a clean speech even though she struggled with the Valupai.
Thank you so much. I now request our grammarian, Prasanna Venkatesh, to give his detailed report.
Good evening all. So I'm glad that almost all the persons in the stage have used the word reminisce. Thank you. Now in this round, people use the word of the day. Toastmaster Hemant, Toastmaster Pravda, Toastmaster Saravanan, Toastmaster Sandhya, Toastmaster Anuradha, guest Shanmugavel, guest Kausalya, Toastmaster Renu, guest Manikandan, Toastmaster Shankar, and DTM Guruprasad. These Toastmasters and guests have used the word of the day. Thank you once again. And now I list down some of the good usage of words and the thoughts by the speakers. For the speech part, for the TMOD Rangarajan have used the word novel way, and Toastmaster Pravda have used the word voracious, and have thought great leader is in every one of us. And Toastmaster Sandhya used introspection, profound, and for the TT session, DTM Thomas sir have the thought human mistakes staring at me, and Toastmaster Saravanan used the word double-edged sword. So these are the good usage I have noted here. So I suggest you do the same in upcoming meetings to use the word of the day at least once. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Priyadarshini. It's time for me to give my General Evaluator's report. We usually wait for the speakers to learn something new, but after Toastmaster Saravanan became our president, it was must that we all do our homework and know what is special about this day. And if you're not, then you're stuck. I'm so happy that today we all got to know it was I am a Mentor's Day. We are known. Sorry. Oh. Okay. There is also for the guests. There's some. As you saw, there were timer, accounters, and grammarian. It's time for you all to choose one of them as your favorite role player for the day. Okay, coming back. Nice to know that today we celebrated it as I am a Mentor's Day. As we all know, everyone in this room have taken the role of a mentee as well as a mentor. So we need to celebrate this day. Speaker 1 talked about the game of Kabaddi. Speaker 2 asked us if leaders were made or they are born. The IDC concept of Speaker 3 was very creative. Our new president made a promise saying this term is more of game of cricket, so we will learn to adapt to the situations and there will be better learning. That was a speech by our incoming president. Then came TT Master, who made all of us reminisce our past, because she asked questions related to rain, and speakers talked about Kabul, going to Kabul, the scooter ride of their dad, going to Jammu, and some also said, one person also said, lie when needed because you have the liberty to lie. So TT Master did really a good job. Evaluators, all three evaluators, I say today they did really did a wonderful job. It was not just a feedback, it was a constructive feedback. One talked about the gestures, which was definitely needed, and one evaluator also made it clear what was the right approach while giving certain stories. So I really appreciate the way evaluators have done their job. And a special mention to our VPPR Prasanna Vani, because my GE report started at 12:57 when she called me to say the venue has changed. Please do come to this place. I said thank you so much. I think big round of applause. It's not easy calling each and everyone to make sure all the role players are there on time and there's no confusion. A big round of applause. Now coming to the areas of improvement. I felt I may be not very right when there were speakers going on. We had 3 speeches. If you had waited for all 3 speakers to complete their speech and then brought in the installation, which was one of the most important program of this meeting, might be to look more structured. So that's the one recommendation I would like to have here. And the QR code, it was definitely like a school kid. Everyone were talking to their next seater and asking, how do I work on this? I think we need to educate ourselves more on this. Overall, it was one beautiful evening spent here, good learning, and thank you. Over to you, Hemant.
So it was for me personally, I felt that it was a good meeting, although there were a lot of interruptions. With this, I would like to hand over, I will take, the best role player. Thanks. So, could you take a moment to vote for the best role player? And in the meanwhile, I would like to hand over the baton to the new president, Toastmaster Director.
Thank you, TMOD. What a wonderful session we have had. We had different types of prepared speeches, an interactive TT session, and very good evaluation given by all the evaluators. We will again get into more extended sessions where we will like to wanted to have a quick run through of the roles and responsibilities of the SCOM. Just that we wanted to have a dialogue, start the dialogue, it's just the start. So one is that we all as role players of the SCOM, right? So we understand our roles and responsibilities and we also communicate with you. And we will take this as a learning experience from both the sides, have a continuous constructive feedback, and then we'll improve on further. So that's the idea behind this session. I think I will invite all the role players, the SCOM members here. We'll start with the education.
I'll read through because I'm not prepared. So the purpose of the Vice President Education of this term is to enhance Toastmasters experience for each enrolled member of Medley. Meaning we have many members who are not much active. We see more of active members coming frequently. So our focus and our purpose will be towards giving a better experience for all members, all enrolled members. So we will be putting our efforts to bring in the inactive members, make them active and bring them onto the stage. In that, we are going to strive in two areas in the meeting. Inside the meeting, what are the different avenues that we could explore, and outside the meeting, of the meeting. And our objective is to at least each member has to complete at least one level in their pathways. Not in that term, but at least each member should have completed one pathway, one level in their pathway, and at least 2 roles by each member in this term. All the members. So we will try to reach out to all the members and bring them on board and bring them onto the stage and try to give them roles and make them more active. And we also encourage and request all the members to enroll and participate beyond the club in division level and district level events participations, either be judges or like our contest chair and contest masters, how Toastmaster Pravda had done in the last term. So this will be our purpose and the objective. In the meeting, it's self-explanatory. We will design and conduct each meeting with unique experience. We will try to bring in some variations in each meeting, and we are also planning to conduct more joint meetings with other clubs within the city and also in the region. And experience meetings is one thing which some of our Toastmasters wanted to have, like beach meetings, libraries, luncheon, or other outside or usual club meetings. That's what we are focusing on, and surprise sessions more frequently than what we are currently having. And last time we had a surprise theme for the role player for the TMOD. In addition, we will also plan to have surprise role players meeting. So that is one area that we are exploring. These are the different in the meeting experience. Of the meeting, we are more focusing towards mentor and mentee engagement to be more powerful and more meaningful. So we are driving towards that, and we will have a more frequent discussion between VP and the mentors pool in Medley. And through mentors, we are trying to reach out to the mentees who are not active and bringing them on board to reach our objectives and our purpose. And we'll also have the dashboard of pathways for each members. And we encourage usage of Easy Speak, Udemy platform, which is AI-based evaluation platform. We encourage all the members to use that platform. We'll be having more sessions on that as well. And also we are exploring this option of introducing Star Mentor of the month or the quarter, but we are still in the discussion. We are not finalized there. So these are the areas in VP's area. With me, Toastmaster Renga and DTM Guruprasad, they will be working as the subcommittee members. More than that, my mentors for the VP education to bring more and better experience for all our members. Thank you.
Good evening to the Toastmasters members. So as a new VP membership, so these are the which I'm taking care of. So first of all, this is the on-time submission of the membership application forms. So to the Toastmasters International, that is a critical aspect. And we'll also be focusing on the retention of the existing members. It's another thing. And in order to add new members, so I need to closely work with the guests and for people coming in. We're also working with the other office bearers to improve the quality of the meeting. And also I will ease out the challenges of the membership and consensus for the membership if there is it. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. The public relation goals for this term will focus on the aims of credibility, consistency, congruence, and comprehensiveness. Credibility we aim to achieve by keeping the club-related information up to date across the website and in all the social media handles. And for consistency, we have a definite timeline where we post on every day. Like Sundays, we will have the winners flyer with a YouTube link for it. And on Monday, Tuesday, we'll have a LinkedIn post highlighting the leadership or the communication lesson learned in that meeting. Wednesday will be the theme flyer, Thursday will be the role players flyer, and Friday the prepared speakers flyer, and Saturday we will have a release of all the above flyers. Coming to being congruent with the needs of the members, we plan to conduct a survey to understand members' needs, expectation, and the pattern of usage of social media amongst all the members. This will help us to tailor our posts according to the member requirements. We also aim to have a comprehensive collection of resources for Toastmasters as well as guests. By Jan, we intend to equip the club website with the links to various meeting rules, link to Basecamp, and about the contest rules book. By Feb, we plan to include details about the pathways, links to all the educational session, and testimonials from members. And by March, we also have planned to give a write-up of how a typical Toastmasters meeting will be there for the guests, and to provide details of all the club achievements and member awards, and include a photo gallery. The BPPR committee includes Jagan, Anuradha, and myself. All PR-related communication will come through one of us, and feel free to contact us with your queries and ideas. Thank you. Good evening everyone. I will be preparing the meeting minutes and sharing it to the members on time. And also I am responsible for planning and maintaining the agenda and the expound meetings, so the minutes of the expound meetings. Maintain up-to-date membership rosters, create and maintain repository. All these roles is what I will be doing. Tracking for the Star of the Month award, tracking and reporting of DCP points to expound. So these are the roles that I am planning to maintain.
Previous.
This is what I spoke about. Meeting minutes on time, plan and maintain agenda minutes for expo meetings, maintain up-to-date membership rosters, create and maintain repository for club constitution, bylaws, minutes, resolutions and correspondence, tracking for Star of the Month award, and tracking and reporting of DCP points to ExCom. I have only one person in my subcommittee, that is Sandhya, and I'm very grateful to her because I think I look up to her more as someone who will help me in my journey rather than someone who's, that I'll be looking up to her as a mentor rather than anything else. And I am hoping that someone else will also say yes to being part of the subcommittee. So thank you all very much.
Very good evening, one and all. So as a treasurer, I would be playing an important role in planning the upcoming budget for the coming term. And my major work will be on maintaining the accounts, especially during the membership fees payment renewal, and the expenses that is made every time following every Toastmaster meeting. As well as I will be having a track on the guest fees payment, and a monthly financial statement will be maintained by me, and finally at the end of the term I will be reporting. And this time we have a thought of issuing the receipt for all the members as soon as the fees are paid, and even we are having a plan to issue receipt for the guests. And I will be working in closely in association with the VPM. So we will work together to retain the members, add new members, so that our long-term goal is to reduce the membership fees. So we will work on it, and I expect all your cooperation for that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Good evening, everyone. So we have only 3 votes from the SAA committee. So best meeting experience with healthy snacks. So right now there are a lot of feedback about the snacks. So we are going to work on it, and we are going to make it healthy so that everybody can enjoy. And second thing is hassle-free meeting. So we brought this QR code, where using this QR code you can scan and you can vote in a single time, which means each session have a different QR code. So once you scan and vote it, automatically it will be diverted into the Google Slides, where we are going to project after the once the president comes, when he presents these slides, the results will be automatically uploaded in the slides, Google Slides. So everything we are using the Google Forms and Google Slides, all are automated. The moment you scan it, the report will be automatically uploaded in the slides. So that's the hassle-free meeting setup we want to do, and we want to go more into digital side where we can track things as well. So attendance analysis, again for attendance from analog to digital we are moving. We are going to use the scanner again. So using the scanner, we are going to get all the data in the Google Forms, and end of the month, the 4 meetings, we are going to find out what is the attendance report and how many meetings have you attended. So based on that, we are going to use the data to predict the star Toastmaster of the month and star Mentee as well. So this is the work from our side, and my subcommittee is Toastmaster Hemant, Toastmaster Prasanna Venkatesh, and Toastmaster Suhail as well. Thank you so much.
My job is very simple. I'm not going to do anything different than what they are told. So my job is just that being a cheerleader for them and be a link between all these people and also be a link between the com team and then the members. So that's all. So we are little aspirational and then trying to come up with a lot of ideas and things like that. But we'll see. We'll ensure that we are moving the right path. So that's what we will. We will continuously measure and also try to make changes if needed. Yeah. So that's about it. Okay. So we are now coming to an end of the meeting. Hope everyone have voted for all the role players and. So hope everyone have voted. Yeah, fine. So we have a lot of guests today. Let's hear from some of them. You would like to come and give the feedback? So today evening was more enjoyable, and also congratulations to you this year. This is my 5th meeting, and 708 meeting I have attended, first meeting. And we reminisce my 711 meeting. Guruprasad sir has conducted some Christmas games, and the last meeting was also some surprise came from Sir Thomas. It was enjoyable, and also I want to walk along with you people. If you admit me, to whom I have want further membership. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. And would you like to come on feedback?
To be honest with you, I'm still clueless about what's happening in Toastmasters because I came to know about Toastmasters only yesterday. I got the number of Mr. Venkat yesterday and I thought I'd just attend as a guest. But after listening to all the speakers, I'm very hopeful that it will give a good impact on my expectations, I feel. So thank you all.
Good evening again. Thank you for following me. And I think this is an indispensable skill, public speaking. So it's like you know so many things, you have so much knowledge, but unless you express it, it's of no use. So basically, the fear of public speaking prevents everybody grow, right? So this skill is indispensable, and we need a team like this. Without a team, without a supportive team, having professors and Sampath sir and ma'am and everybody, it's almost impossible. Unless you are a teacher or you are a professor who is used to speaking before a group, it's not possible. So for people like me, this platform is absolutely necessary, and with your support, I will be improving my skills as well. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's okay. Okay, thank you, sir, thanks for the wonderful feedback. Yes, sir.
Yeah, one more.
He is okay. Okay. So we have that. We can open. Okay. So the returns and so yeah. No, it's fine. Yeah. So it's done. Congratulations to Toastmasters Jagani.
It is already recorded.
You can take a photo.
With president we need a first stay.
Jagan.
Yeah.
No,
No, they did some
the president and the winner can stand
No,
up.
stand up. Yeah, ribbons are there, ribbon
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay, got it.
No, you said one person this side, one person that side.
Okay.
Ribbon is the big ribbon is.
You have to shake hands now.
Ah, yeah, that's it.
No, we cannot shake hands.
Sir, ready.
It's the biggest ribbon when you cannot.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we are coming to the end of the meeting. We spoke about, I have spoken about adapting to the situation, right? Today we got into a situation where we have to change the venue. Thanks to Toastmaster Saran for helping us and making sure that we have a meeting here. And thanks to all the Toastmasters, again, accommodating this change and coming here and then attending the meeting. With this, I think we can conclude the meeting.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I have one request and suggestion.
Sure, sir.
For the new XCOM, please get the XCOM pins.
Okay, yes.
For all the members in future, get member pins. When you induct a new member on the same day, the pin should be given.
Okay.
We can afford it very easily. It's a very small thing. We can do it. That adds to the show value of the Tekram value. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Education, like all the roles are filled in for the next week?
As announced, the meeting is closed.
Okay.
I was ready with the message.
Okay.
So we need one general evaluator, tag role players, one speaker, but there are two speakers, prospective speakers who have approached me, but they have not updated EC Speak. If any of you want to update EC Speak, you will be given the priority. And we are in need of 3 evaluators.
Sorry, 14th, are we meeting?
Yeah.
It's Pongal or something.
Pongal is 14th.
Again, it's a celebration meeting. Any ideas, thoughts you guys want? Anything you want
TMOD
to-
is the CEO of the
Please work with TMOD and then the
Oh,
Vice President.
Make the fire in charge.
Pollution control board is banned.
Who's the team, Modi?
So G, one speaker, tag role players, 3 evaluators.
Yeah, please, enroll it in the EC Speak. And again, there is an announcement from the area that there is a new award like Emerging Rock Star. So where you have to register by Jan 10th. wherein like you have to play all the roles once in the term and also like complete one level between Jan to April. I would request all the members to make use of this opportunity and then register for yourself so that we can get some awards there.
Is it effective from January 1st
Jan
or
to-
January 10th?
It is effective from Jan 1st. The enrollment closes by Jan 10th.
Just to add, we had it in the last term as well. I think Toastmaster Renu has done all the roles and she has registered for last term's Toastmaster, Rockstars Toastmaster. And also myself.
Okay. I think with this sound of the gavel, we can close the meeting number. Thank you all.